Yes, many days have passed since we have seen him, Thomas cried. The men all sadly shook their heads. What shall we do? James sighed. Let's fish, said Peter. Yes, let's fish, the other men said too. They found their nets and oars, and then, just like they used to do, right, they go back to what they're so used to. They climbed into their boat, and as the sun sank low and set, they rowed out on the water and let down their fishing net. The stars soon twinkled up above, so they didn't even mind that it was nighttime. They just wanted to go back out in the water as fishermen. At this time, the stars soon twinkled up above. The yellow moon was bright. The men let down their fishing net time after time that night. Hopefully they can get some success here in some fish so that at least they can move forward here in some way. Each time they pulled it in, they looked for fish, but there were none. Yes, though they fished all night, they caught no fish, not even one. Have we forgotten how to fish? Asked Andrew, looking glum. Yes, Peter said, it's not looking good. I wish we hadn't come. So they're saying that their chances here of finding fish doesn't seem to be big right now, but they've been fishing for so long. It does not make sense. Not any of them. And they have had so much experience here catching fish. The sun was rising from the shore. The men heard someone call. Do you have any fish there, lads? They cried. No, none at all. Then let your net down on the right, he called back from the shore. So he is now telling them to do something. It has to do with just doing what they've been doing, but on a specific side, doing it in a specific way. They oblige, they obey, and that's key here. Surprised, the men let down their net into the sea once more. They waited, then they grabbed the ropes and all began to pull. Then, fish, cried Peter. Fish, cried John. Oh, look, our net is full. So I love this picture over here. You get to see that net completely full, and everybody is experiencing an encounter and seeing this happen on this boat that hopefully doesn't sink with all this fish on one side being pulled in. And then they're putting two and two together and seeing here, this could be the Lord, right? We've been waiting for him and thinking about him as well. Well, it's even such a miracle for this to even happen in this amount as well, in this instance, in the same place that they've been at for already hours. It just seems like it is a miracle and only the Lord could do this. And these men are ecstatic, they're happy, but they're more ecstatic than getting all of this fish miraculously is that they could potentially meet with the Lord once more. The men could not believe their eyes. We caught no fish all night. Now look at all these big, big fish. They shouted in delight. It must be Jesus on the shore, John said to Peter then. Yes, Peter thought, it's Jesus come to help us once again. They're like, we know this kind of encounter of a miracle, and it's like the work of the Lord. It's none other but the Lord. And so they're putting it two and two together and seeing that this man that is approaching them is, and could be, has to be the Lord. He jumped to the sea and swam towards shore where Jesus stood. The rest came in the little boat as quickly as they could. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, cried the men when they had reached the shore. How glad we are to see you. Please don't leave us anymore. Here is Peter doing the opposite of what one would typically do if they are going to go into the water. Like in the Bible, it says here that he puts on his garments, his cloak, his clothes, and then goes in the water to speedily swim to Jesus, because they were not too far from the shore. The rest of the men followed as well. And they all proclaim here, Jesus, don't leave us anymore. Why? Because he was their new found, master, teacher, friend, leader, and, loving, Lord. All they want is to be with him, right? And so they don't understand that even not physically, the Lord was there with them all this time. And the Lord was thinking about them as well. So the Lord is, assuring them here that he cares for them. He provided for them, is there for them, and wants, all these good things for them. And so he is talking to them compassionately, lovingly. Just then they saw a fire of coals with cooking fish and bread. Now bring some fish that you have caught. We need more, Jesus said. You made our breakfast, Master. His surprised and pleasant friends cried. You worked all night. I knew you would be hungry, he replied. So he wanted a miracle to happen, and that involved hours and hours of nothing, but also in the middle of the night, which would mean that these disciples would have been hungry and tired, so much so that they can't even cook their meal here for breakfast. Jesus already done it before he approached them, and then for them to immediately come to him, right? So that at least at that time, he would be able to have breakfast ready. And he is just delighted to see them, happy to see him, and very thankful to see also that he made breakfast. What a beautiful reunion. What a beautiful sight. What a beautiful memory here that we can look back on here and to just see how good God is, Jesus is. Even though he might have felt so many emotions and so much sadness too of being separated from his disciples, but his disciples all had left him, right? And in Peter's case, left him and denied him. Not betrayed him, but he also felt betrayal here from the one disciple. And even though he was feeling hurt, and one could say offended, or, just betrayed and left, he still did all of this love and care for his disciples that are not perfect but strive to be, right? And they themselves are trying to show love here to the Lord as much as possible. So I love this picture. We just see God's perfection just covering all of our imperfection as well. Big Peter ran and pulled their catch of fish in from the sea, and on the shore they counted them 153. Then Jesus put some on the fire. When they had cooked a while, "Come now and have your breakfast, lads," he called out with a smile. So Peter did count all of the fish, just because this was very much, they had to count it, and then now it is recorded here in the Bible. The master's friends had round the fire. He gave them fish and bread. Now Jesus said to Peter and the rest when they were fed, "Feed all my sheep and lambs." And then he gave them this command: "Tell all the world that I have come. Go into every land. Tell red and yellow, black and white." He is telling them now the gospel, from talking about feeding them, but also telling them that you have to spread the gospel. Tell, it says here, red and yellow, black and white, until all people know, everyone, as much as possible. This needs to spread is the goal, the good news. "I shall be with you every day and everywhere you go." He's telling them, declaring them how much they take it in and believe it, right? All varies, even for us today. Well, Jesus said it though. And so that is what he is saying to each and every one of us, that in the end, no matter what our walk of faith here with the Lord, we need to tell people, show people the Lord as much as possible. It is the mission every day to do, and it is such an important mission that one has to see it for how important it is, because of the tremendous importance it has. And this is for the sake and the good of each and every soul. So the Lord cares for us, and he's done it all for us, but we need to accept that free gift he gives us on the cross of salvation. And because he's done it, we need to accept it and tell others to do the same, so that we can all live here with the Lord forevermore in his kingdom, and not in this earth, but in his beautiful kingdom in heaven, which is the most beautiful place that we could ever be in, that God offers us as well as a child of God. The parents note here from the editor, let's read. The actions of Jesus as the servant of God and the Redeemer of the world came as an unexpected surprise to the people of his time. Not the least surprised were some fishermen at the Sea of Galilee. They were surprised at the great number of fish they caught after his command, put out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch. Luke 5:4. They were surprised at his words, do not be afraid, henceforth you will be catching men. Luke 5:10. As his disciples, these fishermen were surprised at the many signs and acts of mercy Jesus performed. They were surprised by the events of his trial and crucifixion, the sudden appearance of the risen Christ behind locked doors on Easter evening, and his words, as the Father has sent me, even so I send you, came as a great surprise. The surprise in John 21 comes on another fishing trip. After catching nothing all night, they follow the advice of a stranger on shore and catch a net full. A breakfast of fish and bread awaits them. The stranger is the risen Lord. He strengthens these simple fishermen as his disciples to bring the gospel to the world, to feed his lambs, and to tend his sheep. Will you help your child appreciate the surprising acts of Jesus and his love for us? Will you show your child the surprise of God's loving presence at a beach breakfast for tired fishermen or at a picnic of happy children? And can you express the surprising joy that you and your children are among those sent to share the love of Christ with all people? Will you teach the little ones, the big ones, all people, right? Of all backgrounds, to tell them here that Jesus has come and he is wanting to surprise us with his love and mercy and glory. In the end here, everything is about Christ. You know, when we look into our lives, see the fishermen, you know, they were all men, grown men, some older than others, but even in their lives, they see here that they are missing something greatly, to the point that even though they've been fishing for some time, some longer, they see how easy it is to just drop it and follow after the Lord, because he is someone that can truly fulfill them